I don't know. After hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Let's go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Had to think what day of the week it was. Good to see everybody. Thank you everyone who got here early, who said hello. Hope everyone had a good day. All that fun stuff. All right, playing a game with you guys tonight. And I might start doing this normally, but we're going to guess whose courthouse is behind me. It's not someone that I'm covering tonight. I'll give you a tip. I had to pick one that didn't say the name of it, but which one of our favorite judges works in that courthouse? I'll let you know at the end of the video who it is, but I want to see if anyone can guess it. Hi, Monkey. How are you? Hi, Brian. Hi, Katie. Hi, Shannon. Kelly. Jonathan. Who else am I missing? Mimi. I'm scrolling really fast. Sorry if I missed anybody. All right. Got some court. First clip. Really interesting. Really interesting. It's an interesting case. Second clip. I want to jump through my screen and yell at somebody in the second clip. And the last one is a SovCit. SovCit that played yesterday during my live when I covered the barber case. But by the time I was finished with the barber case, everyone else already had it up. But still want to play it in case some of you haven't seen it. It's still a really good one. It's always funny when you get a SovCit with Judge Webster in front of our favorite AI attorney. What is it? Regier? Why can't Regier? Jay Regier. All right. Enough talking. Let's watch some court. Oh yeah. Before I go on, if you haven't done it already, like and subscribe, do your jump kick backflips. And if you would like to donate, my link tree is in the description. Speaking of which, I've got a few names to add to my thank you list, and after this first clip, I'll give them shout outs. All right, let's go.
We just need room C at the jail to unmute. There we go. Okay. So Ms. Emery's here from room C at the jail. She's unmuted. It is the date and time of the preliminary examination. So Mr. Settles, how would Ms. Emery be proceeding?
Judge, Ms. Emery would like to take the prosecutor up on the prosecutor's offer. And the prosecutor's offer involves reducing the complaint, which is currently false report of a felony, and as a habitual offender second notice. The prosecutor would be willing to allow Ms. Emery to plead to the misdemeanor of false report of a misdemeanor.
What does that ever stop you?
And then dismissing the second offense notice. He would like to take the prosecutor up on that, but the only concern that I have, I suppose we should confirm that is the offer before I go further. Thank you.
Yeah, we have it in writing, but Mr. Atwood, that is the offer.
It is the offer, Your Honor, and I'm assuming Mr. Settles is moving towards the issue of a no contest plea. I do not object to that. I think the defendant was extremely intoxicated during this whole period of time. If that's what he's going to ask, I don't have an objection to that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
in the is that what you want to request, Mr. Settles?
That is correct, and I did put it in the PC conference. Thank you, John.
Yeah, it is there. Now, and because I saw that while we were waiting, I took a look, I don't have the police report in a felony case. So I took a look at the probable cause portion of the complaint. Do the attorneys think I should use that, or should I have something more?
That'd be fine with me, Your Honor, and I guess just by way of making a record, the police report, and maybe it isn't the PC statement, but she was a .222 at the time of the offense, it looks like, according to the report, and indicated that she consumes a gallon of alcohol a day. So that would be the reason for the no contest.
Okay, all right.
That is correct. That's at page 2 of the report.
A gallon? 222 a gallon. I feel like that'd be a lot higher.
Okay. What, page 2 of the complaint, you mean?
No, the police report. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't have.
I understand
okay,
it. I'm
so
confirming that what
no
Edward
contest.
says, that is exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll take it on a no contest basis. So what I was asking is whether the attorneys agree that probable cause portion of the complaint would be adequate for the no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Okay, well, all right. So I've read it, and actually the false report of a misdemeanor, is that a 93-day or a 1 year?
93.
Okay. And that's what you wish to do, Ms. Emery?
Yes.
All right. So while we've been waiting here, I think I noticed you're on probation in circuit court. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And looks like you had a probation violation hearing on November 14 in circuit court. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. Another one, December 21st.
One on November 14th, we adjourned that while these proceedings occurred. So once this
Okay.
occurs, then we'll go straight to the PV. Thank you, Judge.
Got it. Okay. So this will be a probation if it isn't already. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. What are you on probation for there? Did I hear DV third maybe?
A possession of analog.
Of what? Analogs?
Analogs?
10-year max.
Okay. So, you could be resentenced on a probation violation there because of this conviction, and probably because of consuming alcohol. Could be resentenced to up to 10 years less than any credit for time served on a probation violation in circuit court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you on any other probation or parole anywhere for anything?
No, I'm not.
All right, and this is a free and voluntary plea by you. In other words, you haven't been forced, threatened, coerced, or had anything done to you to make you plead no contest against your will. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, no contest means I'll review some facts with regard to what happened here without you telling me what happened, because apparently you can't recall due to a high level of intoxication. But if I find a sufficient factual basis to accept the plea, you will have a conviction for this misdemeanor, false report of a misdemeanor. Do you understand that?
I do.
All right, and you reviewed all of your trial rights then with Mr. Settles, is that correct?
That is correct.
And do you understand you're giving up those trial rights by pleading no contest?
I do.
All right, and was Mr. Settles appointed to represent you, ma'am?
Yes, he was.
All right, so I have reviewed sufficient facts to accept the plea to the misdemeanor. So I'll accept that. Conviction will enter to the misdemeanor. We'll dismiss the felony and the habitual supplementation. How long have you been in jail, ma'am?
Since October 19th, I believe.
okay. Really? That long? Okay, since this.
Yep.
So, technically there's a victim here, right? Mr. Rodney Brubaker? Is he the victim?
I don't know. I would think that the police are the victim. But
Well, he could have been arrested. Anyway,
false report of a felony, I don't think is a person crime. I'm thinking it's a public order.
well, okay. So he's not denoted, with a V by his name as victim, but gee whiz, I suppose he could have been arrested and, had a high bond and all that, but because I'm wondering if we should go forward with sentencing or whether we have to abide by the victim's rights statute. What do the attorneys think on that?
Your Honor, I would ask that this be set out for sentencing. I think the court's right in that this could have, in the right set of circumstances, destroyed somebody's life due to lies on the part of the defendant. So to me, he's a victim. I mean, he was at risk of losing life and liberty. So I would ask he be given an opportunity to speak if he'd like to. Sure.
So I agree. This out for sentencing to abide by the Victims' Rights Act. Because Ms. Emery's on a circuit court probation and this has been reduced to the 93-day, I don't think we need a pre-sentence report. She's been in jail for coming up on 2 months. And this is a 93-day, so we won't get a pre-sentence report. We'll continue what's the bond here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to just revoke bond if it hasn't been. I'm going to revoke bond. She's guilty now, so there's no right to bond. Sentencing then will be
at 10:15.
all right.
Number 18,
Correct.
10 a.m.
10:15.
Oh, 10:15. Okay, that'll work. Thank you.
All right. We're all set. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Mr. Atwood. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right. I was mistaken. I thought that was a sentencing. It was not. False report of a felony. And then whoever she falsely reported is on bond for a high, just crazy case. Patricia and Charlie, thank you so much for your super chats. Those were the two names that I needed to look up. They donated after my stream yesterday, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. If anyone else would like to donate, links in the description. And I think my mods are dropping it in the chat if you're in the chat. All right, next one is the woman that you'll see why. I don't really have to explain it. If you read the description, you already know. And also, if anyone came in late, courthouse behind me. Whose courthouse is it? Any guesses? I feel like I saw one person guess it right so far. I think. All right, let's go.
Record in 23 CR 69, State of Kansas versus Dawn Howe. Please announce appearances.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
Richard Paul on behalf of Don Howe, who appears in person at a separate location than counsel.
All right, and announcements, Mr. Paul?
Judge, Ms. Howe is going to plead no contest to the sole count battery, a Class A non-person misdemeanor.
Very well. Ms. Howe, how do you plead to the one count of battery?
No contest.
Well, now, wait a minute. Which one of you is Dawn Howe? There's two of you side by side. And
The one with the glasses on her head, Judge.
okay,
I'm speaking to you.
I must have misunderstood a moment ago. Okay. So, Ms. Howe, you plead no contest. You're not admitting the charge, but you're not denying it and wanting to take it to trial either?
Yes, that's right.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by any kind of threats or promises other than maybe a plea agreement?
No.
Do you understand that if I accept your plea, you will be found guilty and not able to appeal your conviction?
Yes.
Very well. Ms. Gillette, have you a factual basis to support this no contest plea to battery?
Judge, on March 21st, 2023, the Sergeant Mike Cordell was dispatched to Madison Elementary School in Madison, Greenland County, Kansas. They met with DCF and they contacted the school and interviewed the children. And one of the juveniles had come to school, Elijah, with a black eye. He had stated that Yaya, referring to Miss Howe, had hit him and blackened his eyes. Upon further interviewing, there was some other physical abuse to the children. The children were removed by DCF. Howe no longer has control over these children, but they had disclosed some physical abuse, one of which resulted in Elijah's black eye.
And you said this happened, was it Madison, Kansas?
Yes, Madison. They go to school at Madison School District and live in Madison. The house address is 116 North 4th Street, Madison.
And is the defendant a mother or grandmother, aunt?
Aunt to the child.
An aunt? And how old is the child?
While she's looking this up,
Elijah is...
the aunt is laughing and smiling during this whole thing. How is this funny? You blacken the eye of a, I think they're going to say 4-year-old.
Elijah's birth year is 2019 and Ethan's is 2016.
She thinks this is funny.
All right, I will accept the pleas and find the defendant guilty of 1 count of battery. Recommendations for sentencing, Ms. Gillette?
Judge, this is a Class B person misdemeanor. We would recommend 6 months for 12 months of probation, court cost, and probation fee. During her probation time, my main issue with it is that she had no contact with the 2 children while she is on probation.
Do we need to be concerned about other children contact?
I don't know that there's any other children in or around her home. I don't believe so.
Any evaluations recommended?
It's regular battery and not domestic battery, so I don't know that it qualifies for any VIP, Judge. She I don't know if she's on supervision anywhere else yet. I think she's off of supervision from a prior case, so this will be her own.
What's the prior case?
A drug related.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Paul, anything you'd like to say about sentencing?
Judge, we believe that the six-month underline is appropriate. Put her on probation. As the county attorney said, Ms. Howe is not around children, so we don't believe that not on any other type of supervision. So, Judge, I would have you inquire about income for attorney's fees.
Very well. Ms. Howe, are you employed?
No, I'm on disability.
Okay, how long have you been unemployed?
I've been unemployed for a year. I was working at Simmons, but then I was on a car wreck, so now I'm just getting disability.
Okay. I will waive attorney fees, but you will be responsible for court costs of $158 and supervision fee of $60. Apparently, there's no restitution for medical bills, Ms. Gillette, is that right?
No, there is a booking fee of $45, Your Honor.
And a booking fee of $45 will be imposed. I believe that comes to $263. Your sentence there will be no fine, but your sentence is for 6 months. You will be placed on reporting probation to be supervised by court services. Again, that's 12 months. You are to have no contact with the 2 children mentioned herein by Ms. Gillette. How long will it take you to pay that $263 off? If you make monthly payments on it,
Can we go like maybe 6 months?
6 months. Okay, so let's divide that 263 by 6. It's approximately $44 a month. I'm going to order that you pay $44 a month until paid in full. And you report as directed in all standard conditions of probation, which the probation officer will go over with you.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. What did you say the monthly payment was going to be?
Did I do it wrong? I thought it was 44. 263 divided by 6.
Yeah, it's 43 and some change, Judge.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just didn't hear you is what
Okay.
it was.
Yeah, I bet
I
43.
wasn't disputing your figures. I just couldn't hear you.
Okay. All righty. Missy, who does she need to call after?
You'll need to call Carrie Seeley, and her number is 620-953.
And that is Carrie, Carrie. And I believe Seeley is Seeley, Missy.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Paul. Anything else we need to address?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Then the ladies are excused, and I believe that concludes this docket.
It does.
Thank you.
Well,
All right.
Judge, we had that wall for bond forfeiture, I think.
Oh, we do have a bond forfeiture on. I have Walker down.
All right.
My cell phone. What did I miss there with my cell phone going off?
All right, there we go. Yeah, I had to turn my camera off. My internet was dipping. The sound was off the video, so I didn't know if you guys could see that too, or if it was just on my side. I assumed everyone was like that. I'll turn it back on in a minute. But that made me sick. She sat there laughing after she gave a 4-year-old a black eye. As you know, our good friend Reagan would say, there's 2 sides to every story, but I don't see how giving a 4-year-old a black eye, there's a second side to that story. All right. Now, what are we doing? We're going on to the SovCit case. Going right back to Judge Webster. We're going to watch a SovCit. And yeah, this guy's good. This guy's good. He did his homework. He knows exactly what he's doing. And, you know, I think he's going to win. He's not going to win. All right, let's go.
Lynn Grimes.
Completely forgot I slid this in here. Wow. I am not prepared. This is just my favorite judge. There's nothing really hilarious or fun about this case. It's interesting. I really like this judge, so I find excuses to use them whenever there's anything that's even close to usable. If he says something funny, I'll use them. This one's a really short clip, and then I believe we go to the SovCit.
2 cases, Grimes. Okay, what are we doing with Miss Grimes? Miss Grimes, are you also known as Lynn Arkia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which name do we go under?
Grimes, preferably.
In Your Honor, I was anticipating the city might have an offer to tender.
That'll clear this up. Okay, so go ahead, Irma.
Thank you, Judge. I wasn't following the new name. And Your Honor, did you indicate there were 2 cases? I see one. Is there another one?
Yeah, I've got one under Grimes and I've got one under Arkia. And on the Arkia, it has a little note saying AKA Grimes. So I'm not sure which one we're going under, but they are traffic matters and just really basically not paying fines.
Perfect. If I can have one.
Lucy, you can see his name in the bottom left corner. I just took my icon down, so when he comes back up, you'll see it. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try it.
One moment so I can pull up the second case. I just want to make sure it's not an accident.
Okay.
So second case is the 2019 case and failure to pay fines. Okay. So as far as the 2022 case, Judge, I'm showing that both of them are failures to pay fines, correct?
Yeah, looks that way.
Okay. So Mr. Edgerton, are you looking for anything specific there?
No, I think she'd be willing to, so I guess we're already adjudicated. She'd be looking to just get reinstated if the city doesn't have any opposition there. And then, maybe credit her for the time she's done in custody already.
This is incredibly complicated, but I think I can take it from here. So let's say a prayer. Okay, Miss Arkia Grimes on, what do you want to go under, Arkia or Grimes?
I think Grimes is preferred.
Yeah.
Okay, Grimes, okay, under 106 Rio, young lady, you had a no driver's license and you were given a $195 fine, and you had an opportunity to cure it by December 14th of 2022, and you didn't. And therefore your payments are now $474. So anyways, do you admit failing to comply with that order?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, how long have you been in jail?
Since yesterday.
Okay, I'm going to give you, we're going to convert that fine over to jail, and it's going to be credit for time served. Okay, let's go to the second one, 08310. Do you admit, same thing, failing to pay 195, God. Anyways, failing to pay fines for a failure to have a driver's license? Okay, and that would be 0831. Okay, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to give you community service to clear this up. I'm going to give you 48 hours of community service. What you're going to do, young lady, and don't screw this up or else you get arrested again, is you report upon release to the Reno Municipal Court, and you set up for that 48 hours of community service. Just knock it out, get it done, and make sure that they get proof, the court gets proof, or else a warrant goes out for you again, okay?
Yeah.
Now, this will clear all your matters up, so no warrants, and so smooth sailing, young lady.
Okay, thank you.
God, I don't even need a prosecutor or defense attorney.
You got it all, Your Honor.
We're just doing push-ups, Your Honor.
We're just here to look pretty.
Okay, Harry Mitchell.
All right. I just thought that was fun. I really like that judge. Again, wasn't the most exciting case, but that judge is awesome. All right. I saw someone say Judge Simpson's back streaming. He never really stopped. He stopped doing his whole dockets. So what he's doing is, if you've already gotten the court's permission to zoom into court, he'll allow you to do that. But it's only one or two cases at a time. He's not doing his entire dockets anymore. All right. Now, I believe this is the SovCit now. There's still half this video left, and I don't remember this SovCit being that long. Maybe it was, but yeah. All right. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so, and do your jump kick backflips. All right, let's go.
In 23 TR 2777, State of Kansas versus Anthony Edward Dubas. Jared Regier for the state. Is Mr. Dubas present? Anthony Dubas?
I am Anthony Edward Dubus. Dubus is the English pronunciation. Dubus is the original French. And I am appearing specially in propria persona, not pro se, as sui juris.
Okay, first of all, I can't see you, so you're not here.
Parents satisfied?
Thank you, sir. Now,
Absolutely.
as far as I need to go, well, I need you back here in person.
Okay, well, it's propria persona, not in person. I'm not the legal entity that you're claiming me to be.
All right, sir, if I can't get you on camera, you're not here.
I'm doing so right now. I'm just removing it as a cape. It takes a while.
Now, the second order of business, let's get your name straight. I know a family with that the same exact spelling in America, and they do pronounce it Dubus, but you said you pronounce it
Dubus,
Dubus?
as the original Dubus, as the original French. Yep.
Very well, Dubus.
Thank you.
Now, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Dubus appears in person and pro se.
Correction. Proprietor persona.
Well, in this court, it's in person. And
Correction, in all courts, it may be either pro se, either appear in person, or proprietor persona.
well, in my years of law school and nearly 40 years of practice, both as an attorney and a judge, it's been in person, and that's what I'm going with, sir. I believe that is just fine. So in
Yep,
any
that's
event,
this guy.
We will proceed with your charges. In count one, sir, you're charged with on August 17th, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state without having a valid driver's license pursuant to KSA 8-235A. No valid driver's license is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. And that means that if you were to be convicted, your sentence could be up to 6 months in the county jail, and your fine could be up to $1,000. In count two, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, you did then and there unlawfully operate or attempt to operate a motor vehicle, to wit, a 2003 Honda Accord, upon a highway of the state, to wit, 1700 block of East Foxdale Street, Andover, Butler County, Kansas, while the vehicle was not registered in violation of KSA 8-142. Failing to register a vehicle as alleged here by the state is an unclassified non-person misdemeanor. It has its own special penalties of a fine as high potentially of $2,500 and a jail sentence potentially anywhere from 30 days to 6 months. In count three, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, Anthony Edward Dubus,
Thank you, Myron.
unlawfully and intentionally drive a motor vehicle upon a public highway or property open to use by the public and fail to provide proof of insurance upon demand by a law enforcement officer. Now, sir, if you had insurance when you were stopped but just didn't have it with you or couldn't find it quickly, just provide proof to the county attorney and they'll most likely dismiss that charge. But if you really didn't have insurance, you're looking at a Class B non-person misdemeanor. The law does require a minimum fine if you're convicted of $300 up to $1,000, and it does have a possible jail sentence up to 6 months. Those are the charges against you. You do have the right to an attorney. You can hire any attorney of your choice, but if you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. You don't have to have an attorney, though. You can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. So that's an order of business we need to take care of today, is whether you want an attorney or not. And then another is to make sure that you understand what the charges are and the possible penalties. Do you have any questions for me about that?
Yeah, I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges. I have not had my accuser face me to bring the charges against me, as is a violation of due process. And I want to correct, for the record of the court, the named defendant is different than the named person, being myself. Hold on, let me make sure I get that in view of the camera. The named person here is different than the one named in the charges and the counts, being a difference of representation of who exactly it is the charges are against. And it is to my belief and knowledge that per KAR 8243 subsection A, exemption from the motor carrier safety regulations, A, the occasional transportation of personal property by private motor carriers that is not for compensation and is not in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise. I am exempt from these regulations, and if I need to get a USDOT number to show that I was not operating a commercial motor vehicle or as a common carrier for business or for profit or in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, I will be more than happy to produce that USDOT number to show that I am in fact a private motor carrier, not operating in commerce, not driving, as I'm merely transporting and traveling.
Mr. Dubois, you are not charged under the Uniform Commercial Carriers Code as adopted by the state of Kansas. You are charged just as a motorist operating a motor vehicle. Again, not a commercial vehicle. These are not laws that are subject to the commercial code or to the administrative regulation that you referred.
Although you mentioned the word operating, operating is a term used for the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, or driving, operating, the physical use or furtherance of for-profit business or for compensation.
It may under the commercial code, but not under the code otherwise.
It is under Kansas, correct?
It is not under Chapter 8 of the Kansas statutes or Chapter 40, which you're filed under. But we can address that at a later date at a trial or a motions hearing if necessary. But I do not see the statutory language that you're addressing being applicable to these statutes, at least preliminarily at this hearing.
It is within, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's my ruling there. And then on the name issue, I am not tracking you there. The only difference I see is that at the top of the document, state of Kansas and your name are capitalized, and in the initial or in the individual charges, it's traditional capital letter of the first name, all lowercase of the remaining names throughout. So I'm not following that argument. Again, if you want to readdress that at a later date, we can, but I'm just not seeing that argument.
Okay.
Now
then. I motion and move this court to dismiss this case for the motion I have filed and for the brief in support of motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction.
Sir, I do not have any such motion or brief in support. Mr. Regier, have you received any such documents?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor, and so I fail to see, at least at this juncture, how such a motion is properly brought before the court, unless the court is aware of something that I am not aware of.
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide, if it's properly before the court. Mr. Dubois, who did you file the motion and brief with?
Well, seeing as your guys' e-file is down for what is it? It's called a ransom malware or something. I cannot e-file.
Right,
so
but you can mail it, or you can walk it into the clerk of the court. Have you done that?
Yes, I've mailed it. By email, which a court
I'm sorry,
could.
Okay, go ahead, please. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. It was by email, which the court clerk said I could, considering the e-file was down. And I
Alright.
can't really go 20-something miles to do that, considering my personal property was stolen.
When did
And
you
to-
email it, sir? When did you email it?
A while ago.
Judge,
Yeah.
Yes.
we do not accept emailed filings, only faxed or by mail or person.
Okay,
I'm
I was
sorry.
told that they do not have fax, so I could not do that. So email would be okay.
He may have called the wrong courthouse then.
They spent 10 minutes finding my case because your guys' system was down. So I'm fairly
recall
certain it was
which-
the correct one.
Okay, do you recall which you file or which court you called?
Let me go to my sent. T Stafford at bucokansas.com.
I think that might be at the county courthouse, not the district courthouse.
Okay. So
Is it? Okay.
if you want to file something, sir, let's make sure you file it in a fashion that will get it officially recognized. So Ashley, how do you suggest he file motions and the like?
He will either need to mail us a copy of it or he can fax file.
And is your guys' fax active?
It has been the whole time.
Okay.
It's
And
not affected, yes.
what's the fax number?
Our fax number is 316-321-9486.
Okay. My honor, I have one last question. For the nature and cause of these charges, is it a criminal or is it a civil matter?
This is a criminal matter.
Okay. As is a criminal matter, there are two jurisdictions which I may be tried. Common law, and the other is a military tribunal. Which of those two do you intend to try me in?
I intend to try you in this one, sir.
Which is this one? Please elaborate.
The criminal one.
Well, criminal has two jurisdictions. It is either the common law or it is the military tribunal.
Well, sir, we're not going to go into that at this point.
Are you refusing to acknowledge to me and tell me the nature and cause of the charges?
I have told you the nature and the cause of the charges.
You are not elaborating.
I think the remaining issue, sir, is whether you're going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself.
My honor, I need to know whether or not this is going to be in the common law or a military tribunal.
Well, I am going to ask you one more time. Are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself, sir?
Again, I'm not representing myself. I am sui juris in proper persona or propria persona.
So you're not going to have an attorney, or are you?
No, I'm not going to be presented or re-presented by any British agent registrant or anybody else to be a ward of the state. I'm standing on my rights, and I do not.
Oh man, I gotta take a break. This guy. This is the third time I've seen this too. For those of you that came in late, I know this has been going around. A lot of people have seen it. I was playing a clip yesterday during a live when this one was going down, and I just jumped over and grabbed it real quick. And by the time I put it into a video, everyone had it out. So I just decided to add it to the end of a live. Anyways, Mark, thank you so much for the $10. I very much appreciate it. Very generous. All right, break's over. Let's go.
Abrogate them. And if you're going to continue to move this court without any sort of evidence, well, I guess I'll have to file that. But
we're going to set your hearing How do you want to plead to the charges first? Then if you don't want to have an attorney, how do you want to plead to no valid driver's license?
My honor, are you attempting to administer the trust without permission and consent?
I'm asking you for your response. I'm giving you the chance to respond. Do you want to plead to this charge or not?
My honor, I don't make any pleas as I am appearing in proprietary persona, and any plea would submit jurisdiction to the court. I am here challenging jurisdiction under the common law as I am owed the law of peace. And this is a fraud action as fraud in the inducement from the beginning under due process violations from Deputy Khalid Baraka and the other officers or sheriffs that were on scene. And if you are attempting to administer the trust without consent of myself, the living man, the grantor, in common law, which is above Admiralty Maritime law, then you will be in violation of Article 3, Section 2, the trial of all crimes, except in case of impeachment, shall be jury, and such trial shall be held in a state where said crimes shall have been committed, but when they are not committed with any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. And as there is a difference between the Republic State Kansas before the state of Kansas was brought into the Federation of the Union of States. And you will also be in violation of I'm getting it real quick. 18 U.S. Code sections 2381, treason. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States, the corporation, not United States of America or for America, levies war against them or adheres to the enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title, but not less than $10,000, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Now, I, Anthony Edward Dubus, the proper case trade name, not the all caps legal entity of which you're attempting to administer the trust of, am an American state national, a Kansas state national per 8 USC 1101, subsection 21, and is recognized by the Kansas Human Rights Commission as I have dealings with them going over my nationality in regards to a corporation in which I have a complaint filed against, has already been refused mediation by the company and is being investigated by Barbara Carper, the special investigator of Kansas Human Rights Commission, over my case specifically. And if you are attempting to move this case against myself, you are in violation of executing law rather than just judging on it. Which, if I need to pull up that statute
Sir, do you,
case as well.
sir, do you still have the same phone number you had posted on your bond that you have with AAA Butler County Bail Bonds? Is that still your current phone number?
Mrs.
316-252?
Call me either Anthony Dubus or Anthony Edward Dubus. I do not accept the term sir. Although,
well.
Yes, my phone number is still the same at 316-25.
Is your address, okay. Address is iPhone locked. And Mr. Dubois, is your address still homeless, or do you have something more specific at this time?
See, they refused to put down my address. I am within Wichita, Kansas, rural free delivery.
Hey, quick question. I muted the sound on my side when they were giving his number out. Did it actually mute it for you guys, or did it only mute it on my end? Let me know.
Within the 4-corner rule 67202, aka the brackets around 67202, and they refused to put down my rural free delivery address and put me as homeless instead because they could not accept it. They refused. Also, Deputy Khalid Barrett, I was taken to Butler County Detention Center, refused that there were any magistrates at all within any of the courts, which per due process of common law, I was to be taken before a magistrate or a tribunal, both judicial, either Article 3 or 4, in front of a magistrate judge to be decided whether or not I was even within the jurisdiction to be tried for these charges or commercial crimes.
Your next court date will be 2 weeks from Monday. What do you have, Ashley? 2 weeks from this past Monday. What is it?
I believe that is going to be Monday, the 18th.
All right, Mr. Dubois, your next court date is December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom. You can always appear in the courthouse personally if you like. I am appointing Attorney Darren Patterson. Now, if you don't want to use him,
I do not accept any appointment of any attorney.
But I show that you don't have a specific residence. Do you have a job, employment?
I did, and then these actions against myself from the state of Kansas caused me not to have it anymore, which I am in process of finding another one, putting in applications every day and making sure I do my due diligence to make sure that I can gain my compensation and my livable wage.
Well, your attorney is Darren Patterson.
My honor.
His number is 316-322. Ashley, please send him Mr. Patterson, the appointment and the court date. I want you two to talk. If he can be of any service to you, I would encourage you to let him do so. If you have any questions or if you want him to help you with any motions, he can advise you on that. But I think at this point, there is a lot of confusion on your part about
there's no confusion
and how it works. Did
I
you go to
researched
law school,
more than
Mr. Dubois? Did you go to law school? Are you a licensed attorney?
it is Anthony Dubois, Anthony Edward Dubois. No, I am not a licensed practice attorney, although that does not stop the common law right of anybody practicing law for themselves, or not practicing, as that is the commercial term, enacting law and being in court for themselves, on behalf of themselves, and to have any form of counsel they deem necessary.
All right, we do have finally a point we agree on, that you don't have to have counsel. But I want Mr. Patterson available to you because you have, in this court's opinion, mixed federal law and state law and other sources of law that don't all go together.
May I elaborate?
I just want him to be available to you. I think we have exhausted this particular hearing, the purpose of which is merely to make sure you know what the charges are, the possible penalties, and your rights that I have gone over with you, including your right to counsel, which I'm hearing you say you don't wish to utilize. But nevertheless, I'm going to direct Mr. Patterson to at least be available to you, that you be here again December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom, and I'm going to continue your bond until that date and time. So anything else, Mr. Anthony Edward Dubois, please take that up. Thank you. Please take that up at the next hearing after you've had time to talk to Mr. Patterson.
Okay, my last final thing I want to say is I'm already filing Kansas Commission on Judicial Conduct complaint against a judge, and that would be the prior judge, Mr. Oh God, what's it, Mr. Lee, I believe, and I will be adding you to the complaint as well, as you are violating my due process right and my Sixth Amendment right.
Well, you're welcome to do that, sir, if you want, but at this time, this hearing is adjourned.
Okay, and I also want to mention that Mr. Regier has not moved this case against myself, and that the witness, firsthand witness that needs to be present to move this case against myself is not present
Your
and is a
argument,
violation of my Sixth Amendment. I yield.
your arguments are noted.
Jay Regier hasn't moved anything against anyone. He doesn't move. Like moves his head up and down a little bit. They even turned off the AI to the tree. I think they're listening to me. So it always looked like there was a huge windstorm or a tornado outside his window. All right, I'm gonna hit play and it's gonna end. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. We're about to raid Biggin. One of the nice things about going live earlier than late is I can choose more than one person to raid. So we're gonna raid Biggin. Thanks again, everybody, for coming. If you haven't done it already, like and subscribe. Oh yeah, real quick. Turn this on for a second. That is Judge Middleton's courthouse. You got a lot of you started saying it after I brought it up the second time. That is Judge Middleton's courthouse. So most of you were right. All right. I am going to stop. I'm going to turn off camera. Finish this off. Like I said, there's only about 30 seconds left of this. So let's go hang out with Biggin for a little bit. But until next time, bye.
And we are in recess. You are excused at this time, Mr. Anthony Edward Dubois.
Debus, thank you.
Debus. I will get it. Debus.
You're fine. And in the reference to the family of which you are probably familiar with,
Yes.
I am the only person actually being within common law. They subject themselves as citizens, of which I'm not, and that is probably where the familiarity of the last name comes from. And
All right.
I appreciate your time. Thank you. I hope you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too. All right. Let's take up.